The founder of the movement against violence peacefully shoots the Slovakian prime minister 5 times.
And if you still don't think there's enough gay stuff on TV, don't worry. NBC has you covered.
A judge ruled that tacos and burritos are Mexican sandwiches, or are hamburgers and hot dogs American tacos.
And Germany's reputation tarnished after videos surface of toilet-licking politicians.
They've got a syndrome, and it's not the one you're thinking of. It's Down syndrome. No, not that Down syndrome. Talk Down syndrome.
I'm Adam Yenser, and I used to work for the Maury Povich Show.
I'm Ethan Nicolle, and I once hit a cougar with my car. And I'm talking about the animal, not my wife or any other woman you're thinking of.
So you refer to your wife as a cougar?
Yeah, is she not old enough?
That's your decision.
I figure once you're in your 40s or mid. How old is a cougar?
I think a cougar is
at a certain point it's a compliment, but it's too soon. It's not. So
I think a MILF is always a compliment.
Is it always? But really
I think
crude.
a cougar suggests a greatness in age.
Right. I take it back.
Because I would do a joke. I did a joke for years where I referenced a cougar hitting on me at a bar. And then I'm still doing that joke in my 40s. And I think of it, I'm like, oh, right, a woman my age.
A woman your age.
Just an age-appropriate woman.
I think an attractive 40-year-old, is that a cougar? Oh, maybe it's not. I don't know.
I think
we're
it's
in
relative.
that weird no man's land of our age.
It's relative to where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wouldn't have said it if I was you, but
yeah,
it's out there now.
Anyway, hey, if you want to know the backstory of these little stories we just told, we talk about those when we get to our subscriber portion.
Yeah.
You can join us at thetalkdown.com to join up and become one of our family of subscribers. We just started.
I'll tell you about all the phone calls I got while interning for the Maury Povich
Do you guys
show.
know what Maury Povich is?
Yeah.
This is a crazy time in the 90s. I didn't even know that you were...
They would have... So I was there around the time they switched to all paternity test shows.
Were you like 19 at the time?
I was 21 or 20 or 21.
Wow.
It was during my sophomore year in college. And it was right around the time they switched to mostly paternity shows. Because before that, they would sometimes have... Like, they'd have like Geek to Chic episodes or Making Kids' Wishes Come True. Or like Odd Couples where it'd be somebody... You know, really young like Ethan with somebody really old like his wife.
How dare you? My wife was 2 years younger than me. I consider myself an old guy. If I was called a hot old guy, I'd take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay, in this so this very special 4th episode.
Very special episode.
We finally got some iTunes reviews, and I don't even know if iTunes is a word now.
I didn't even know we were on iTunes.
Apple Podcasts, I think, is separate, but it feels weird to say that. But we have reviews, and I want to thank the people that have left some reviews. So we're going to read a couple of them just to reward you for your faithfulness. This is from Mountain Man, I think, MNT Man 22.
Oh, you said I would have said Mint Man. I'm
Mint
glad
Man.
you read that one.
Mint Man. It's like the bee. Looking under a rock for Adam and Ethan from the Babylon Bee. Well, you flipped the right stone and found them.
That's clever. That's like a clever line that we always sit there trying to write and don't come up with it.
It is.
Here's another 5-star review. That was 5 stars. This one's 5 stars from Pickle Benny.
Pickle Benny.
The funny is back, baby. Even if the bee still made podcasts, which they don't. It's him saying that. I know they do.
Yeah, I think they do.
The Talk Down would be funnier. Don't get me wrong. I was a sold out bee fan. Got the sacred text, went to Be Live, etc., until the owner pooped his pants and fired the most talented guy on staff.
Adam Yenser.
Or Ethan Nicolle.
Yeah,
and here's the thing. This is for legal reasons. I'm reading words.
I never signed anything.
I didn't say whether I've signed anything or not. I did not say the owner pooped his pants.
No, yeah.
Or that Kyle and Seth fired their most talented employees. That's what this guy is saying.
I'm not saying that.
I'm reading words written by someone else. I think Kyle Mann's a comedic genius.
Unquestioned.
And if I were the most talented guy on staff, I hope you guys have a long and successful run and get Kevin McCreary on sometimes or all the time.
I love Kevin.
And yes, get Patrick a microphone. We've missed Cacklin Patty. Give him what for, boys? I miss Patrick too. He's not.
Yeah, I know.
We'll hopefully have him back. It's a long drive from where.
Just look up Patrick online, Arrow 59, and just harass him to come back.
Don't harass him. We're not gonna.
No, I want to send the hordes after him and pressure him. We have one more, and this is a YouTube comment. We want to thank our YouTube commenters too. I read all of them. I read the thousands upon thousands of comments we get. Abby Walker, 1285, says, my favorite part about this pairing is how Ethan is amused by everything and Adam is amused by nothing. I mean, Adam laughs.
I laugh. Usually it's something I said.
Yeah, he laughs at his own jokes.
Yeah, it's a skill I have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm amused by some of the stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a survival instinct being able to laugh at your own jokes.
Yeah.
I always really encourage when my daughter laughs at her own jokes. And she does it a lot. All right, you ready to get into some news?
Yeah, speaking of things that amuse everyone, it's time for our top stories.
President Biden says that he was vice president during the pandemic. Barack sent me to Detroit to fix it. That's what he said. So he claims that during the pandemic, he was vice president and Barack sent him out to Detroit to fix things up.
We want to watch the clip here?
I don't remember that. Yeah, let's watch the clip.
Cool.
Let's take a watch.
And when I was vice president, things were kind of bad during the pandemic. And what happened was, Barack said to me, go to Detroit and help fix it. Well, poor mayor, he spent more time with me than he ever thought he was going to have to. God love you.
Yeah, so it's questionable history.
There's so many incorrect things in just that one statement. Because he was not vice president during the pandemic. Barack did not send him to Detroit to fix the pandemic.
It's possible, though. What if this is a deep government plan, and then Biden's already probably heavily manipulated at this point. They knew he was going to have to be the next president, right? Because Barack got his 2 terms. So they just shelter him and convince him. They have Barack constantly checking with him and giving him little side missions and things to do. It's saying like, yep, I'm still president, don't worry. They just keep telling him it's a different date, and he's like, oh, okay.
Maybe Biden still thinks he's the vice president.
Yeah.
See, some Democrats, they tried to defend this and saying that he was referencing another pandemic before COVID, like it meant swine flu or Spanish flu or bubonic plague. I don't know how many pandemics Biden has lived through.
Right.
But he keeps making these stories about him making these gaffes and forgetting what time and era he's in. Like as a comedy writer and as somebody who comments on the news, you have to make jokes about them every time. But it's getting to the point where he has these dementia moments so often. Like, how do you keep joking about it? It's like going to a nursing home and seeing your grandfather say crazy things and making fun of him every single time.
Riffing on him, yeah.
Just, oh, look how dumb he is again. Old Alzheimer's patient.
Yeah. $5 isn't going to buy me much at the pharmacy, Grandpa. Can't buy medicine for the family with that.
Yeah, really. Staying on the topic of inconsistency, Slovakian Prime Minister shot 5 times by the founder of the Movement Against Violence. Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico was meeting a crowd of supporters in Handlova, northeast of Bratislava, following a Slovak government meeting when a shooter whipped out a gun and let off 5 shots at point-blank range. Now, the Prime Minister is in the hospital, but is expected to make a full recovery. And I wrote, I'm very relieved he survived and is doing well, because that means we can joke about it.
Yes.
If he died, we couldn't joke about it.
Exactly. And you have to, wow. This guy shot the guy 5 times, point-blank range, and he didn't kill the guy. Yeah. So he really is living up to his stand against violence.
Yeah, really.
Either that or he just really sucks at violence, and he should stick with non-violence.
Maybe it's weird. He's the founder of the Movement Against Violence, and in his defense, I feel like if you shoot someone 5 times and they don't die, it's a mostly peaceful assassination attempt.
Right. Yeah, because non-violence is a spectrum.
But it says Juraj. His name is Juraj Cintula. He's 71. From Levice, has been identified by Slovakian media as the gunman in the assassination attempt. It says no motive has been determined, although I think the motive was the motive was to stop the violence.
For nonviolence.
He's also a poet and founder of the group, like I said, Movement Against Violence.
Right. Yeah.
I like that he's 71. That's like one of those inspiring memes. Like Tina Fey didn't start writing till she was 23, and Harrison Ford didn't start acting until he was 30, and Juraj Cintula didn't start assassinating until he was 71. There's still time to pursue your dreams,
right?
To make something of yourself.
It is. Yeah. It says here in 2015, Mr. Cintula founded the campaign group against violence and sought to get it officially registered in Slovakia. Here's a quote from Mr. Cintula. Violence is often a reaction. How do Slovakians talk?
Oh,
Violence is often a reaction of people as a form of expression of ordinary dissatisfaction with the state of affairs. Let's be dissatisfied, but not violent.
That sounds like Werner Herzog.
Yeah, I'm just guessing some Europeanish. Since you also said, he's also 70. It is very difficult because no one trusts anyone anymore. The world is full of chaos and hatred. Yeah, mostly by people who shoot people 5 times.
Yeah, really.
It kind of reminds me of like, is it sort of like increasing racism in order to end racism?
Might
like
be.
he's going for that technique that's kind of in vogue right now.
Yeah.
Or like when
that is true. In our country, the most racist people are the people trying to fight racism.
Yeah, the biggest.
They're the people that say racist things
all
about
the books
everyone and everything.
Fight racism are super racist.
Yeah.
I think, sometimes you just got to explore your beliefs a little bit. I think that's probably what he's doing because Stephen R. Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the habits is you seek first to understand before seeking to be understood. And so maybe he just wanted to really understand the other side of nonviolence.
I bet once he's in a prison cell, he's going to be against violence again. He'll be like, no violence. Exactly. No, that's the thing I'm against.
He really learned.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good thing to give it the old college try.
Yeah.
And anyway, well, it turns out humans aren't the only creatures with inconsistent identities. NBC is releasing Queer Planet, a documentary about the rich diversity of animal sexuality. Like, who's the creepy guy that came up with this idea?
They want to talk about gay sex.
They just want to talk about it.
It's so bad in every way they can possibly bring it up.
On June 6th, during Pride Month, NBC's Peacock streaming platform will release a documentary called Queer Planet about the rich diversity of animal sexuality.
I miss the days when I could tune into a network called Peacock and not hear about gay stuff all day. That's so much to ask.
Low-hanging fruit there.
Yeah.
Peacock's press release reads, take a worldwide journey exploring the rich diversity of animal sexuality, from flamboyant flamingos to pansexual primates, sex-changing clownfish, multi-gendered mushrooms, and everything in between. This documentary looks at extraordinary creatures, witnesses amazing behaviors, introduces the scientists who are questioning the traditional concept of what's natural when it comes to sex and gender.
I will say I like that term, sex-changing clownfish. I feel like to be more in line with nature, we should apply that to humans. Like, instead of transgender, we can call them sex-changing clown people.
It's just as a term of endearment.
Yeah.
It's
a sex change. Dylan Mulvaney is a sex-changing clown person.
I think, yeah.
And they say there's multi-gendered mushrooms. Now, look, I found this picture of 2 mushrooms. Yeah. They're not multi-gendered. I think it's pretty clear which genders each one of them is.
I've never seen a more clear gender on a thing, a living thing.
But they do this because they keep trying to push all this. They keep trying to push all this stuff about every weird sexual perversion and new trend that they've come up with is somehow natural and acceptable, as if animal behavior is a justification for
some validating. Isn't that always the idea? Like, we shouldn't be like animals?
Their next documentary is going to be like, monkeys throw poop and so should we. We're the rational animal. We're not supposed, just because they behave violently doesn't mean we can.
Right. I mean, that's the whole idea of being human, is you're separate from the animals. In fact, you turn that whole thing on its head and include us as one of the animals, all chaos. You can make the same show about rape, cannibalism, child murder. Although child murder, I don't want to give them any ideas on that one because they're kind of into that.
Yeah.
But some examples from nature that they could use if they want to broaden out. And flatworms are born male. Maybe you may want your kids to remember some of these. Flatworms are born male. They sword fight with their genitalia to mate.
I feel like no one would enjoy that fact more than kids.
Yeah.
If I was a kid, I would be like,
the age, okay, bring your kids back in
I
for
would
this
be
one.
laughing all day that flatworms have sword fights with their genitalia.
After he gets stabbed, injected, their male genitalia falls off and they are now female.
Oh, man.
I love that. You lost. You're a girl.
Yeah.
Otters are violent rapists. I don't even know if it's otters, fun-loving otters. They even rape and mutilate baby seals.
Man.
So...
not like beavers who always ask for consent first.
If a baby sloth falls off its mother's back, she's like way too slow to go down there and get it before it dies, so she just leaves it. Rather than showering, many animals just lick their genitals. We all know that. Rats and hamsters eat their babies. A lot of things eat their babies. Seals often will rape penguins for fun.
What? Is that real?
Yeah, I haven't made a link on that one, so I could legitimize it.
I'm researching this live.
Chinese soft-shelled turtles urinate through their mouths.
Oh my gosh, there's a picture of a seal raping a penguin. It just
now Matt has to get it.
Oh my gosh.
Other turtles breathe through their butts.
And there's other penguins just literally looking the other way.
Watching the eye looking the other way.
They're literally
Penguins don't have a
turning
strong
away. There's no
fiber.
ethics.
See something, say something. Some species of male slugs bite off their penis after sex. How do you bite your slug? You don't got a mouth. Do you? I don't know. Chimps attack you. Oh, this one.
I think there were some German gay guys who did that after they were on meth or something.
I'm sure there's humans that have done all these things too, but chimps, I don't know if you know this, when they attack a human, and they just do it. They don't like have moral reasons.
Yeah.
They go for the face, the hands, and the genitals.
Oh, they mutilate.
I have nightmares
people.
about that.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. You
Can
ever
you ever
see
live like
pictures
that?
of chimp attack victims?
Yeah.
They're horrifying.
Don't Google it.
Yeah. Hold on,
Nightmare.
I'm gonna Google it here now. There's a picture again.
So yes, let us not forget that nature is red in tooth and claw,
My favorite phrase from last week's episode.
and also in bed.
And people researched it. I don't know about that. Well, I don't know. I ran out of material.
Did you say Iran?
I did.
Oh, French TV channel mistakenly reports Mossad agent Eli Copter behind Iran president crash. So a news presenter of a French Israeli TV channel has been ridiculed online for reporting a Telegram joke about a Mossad agent called Eli Copter. Clearly a joke. So, and just for context, the president, I didn't know this until like everyone's like talking about it, like everybody knows this.
That the Iranian president was killed in a helicopter crash?
Yeah, I didn't know that. If you didn't know that, now you got it.
We do a news show, and it was like the biggest story for 24 hours.
I researched the penguin
You
raping.
were too busy looking at more important stories.
Daniel Hike. Actually, well, what got me out of this was the Eli Copter.
You love a pun.
I love a pun.
A little wordplay.
A political analyst, Daniel Hike, a political analyst for I-24 Français, the French language version of I-24, an international 24 news channel, based in Israel, was being interviewed last night after Iran's president was killed in a helicopter crash. He wasn't the only one that made this mistake. So you can see the guy, he just says that there's I don't have the quote here, but he names this guy saying responsible for the crash.
Are we showing this?
Eli
Are we
Copter.
showing this picture?
The picture here, yes.
Here's what I don't understand.
The picture, oh yeah.
It's in Arabic.
The whole, down below is automatic translation. That's the translation that matters.
But how does Eli Copter work as a wordplay pun in English and Arabic? I'm so confused by this. Yeah. Well, that means the Arabic word for helicopter has to also be a compound phrase of,
they probably have
the writing of the Jewish name Eli.
Well, some languages have a phonetic. A lot. Like I know I did. Like someone told me my name in Chinese one time, and I searched it up, and Ethan came up. I was like, "What the heck?"
But the word's the word helicopter, I guess, is the same then in Arabic.
Eli Copter. So if you put an Eli's a name, then copter might not be an actual word. So I just use this phonetic. I don't know.
I don't know how a wordplay joke works in both Arabic.
Yeah,
and English.
I agree, but it did translate.
That's what fascinates me the most about this story.
Unless, I don't know. The whole image is there, so maybe the name was in English. I don't know if the name was in English in the original because I can't see what it's referencing.
But I did like this story. Reminded me when they said that his pilot was Eli Copter a few years ago in San Francisco. I don't remember. There was an Asiana jet that was taking off. It was flying to China, so it had Chinese crew. And it was tragic because people died.
Okay.
So I shouldn't joke about it, but this was very funny.
Okay.
Somebody pranked the news station and sent in a fake press release. And live on the air, they said, we're getting the pilots' names. It was Sum Ting Wong, Wee Tu Lo, Holy Fook, and Bang Ding Ao. And then they had to apologize for it later and be like, oh, we're very sorry that we said those things.
So terrible. Like, who, okay, like, on one level, I respect, but on another level, to have the moment these people die.
It's sad because it's a tragic story, but it's
I agree.
It's so funny that it actually got on the air, that it actually worked.
The fact
you
they
think
said
there's
it,
no way
I
they're
agree.
gonna fall.
I'm trying
for
to think
this.
of the guy who made the joke.
Yeah,
the person that actually called that in instantly went, dead Chinese people. Oh, I got a joke.
Yeah,
instantly.
And he came up with 4 pitches right
instantly.
Yeah,
I said instantly a lot. So it turns out this Eli Copter character is actually part of a half man, half machine team. Others include Pat Trollcar, Submarine, it's a girl, Torpedo. He's not a pedophile. He's a torpedo named Thor. and Blake Hawk. He's a helicopter.
That's all we've got for helicopter news, but we do have some RV news.
Oh, good.
I know a guy, quote, Aberdeen inmate helps owner jumpstart RV he allegedly stole in viral video. So a video is going viral on TikTok that shows an Aberdeen City jail inmate helping jumpstart an RV he allegedly stole himself. Olive Teague's RV was stolen on December 19th, 2023. Inside was mermaid gear and freediving equipment for Olive's business, the Seattle Mermaid School. There's a lot happening in this story.
Yeah, it's full-on mermaid equipment.
It goes many places.
And I looked up the school, and there's like full-on. It's a mermaid school. Mermaid? You learn. It's mermaid college. Yeah.
Months later, police recovered the RV. Several squatters had been clearly living in the RV and drove it around 1,300 miles, damaging the interior and exterior. It doesn't say whether they got into the mermaid stuff or not.
You have to imagine, they're just a RV full of all these methed out guys dressed as mermaids flying down the road. And I cut out so much text here, but they like really trashed that RV.
Really?
So they just had a giant mermaid party in there. Meth and mermaids. Yeah. I assume meth. Yeah.
If there's squatters in an RV, there's got to be some meth there. Teague says when the officer was trying to jumpstart the vehicle, he said, I know a guy back at the station who definitely knows how to do this because they couldn't get it started.
Yeah.
To Teague's surprise, the officer came back with a man wearing an Aberdeen City jail uniform who they say police booked for selling or stealing the RV. He was sure he was going back to the station to get an officer, but they brought back the guy who stole the RV to help them start it again.
At one point, I know she actually, he was like, can you hand me that thingamabob on the floor there? And the lady who owns the mermaid school, she said, oh, thingamabob, I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I want to be with...
So we're going to get a copyright strike. If you sing too much, if you're nailing it.
I nail it too hard.
Their minions are going to shut us down for stealing their...
If it wasn't clear, it's because she's a mermaid.
Yeah. As the inmate helped Teague and their friend start the RV, Teague began filming to document the incident.
So it turns out the trick to starting the RV was a crudely fashioned prison shank. And then now, so now anytime she needs to start the RV, she just has to push the button on her incarcerated RV thief calling watch. I like when you see jokes that you didn't realize.
I like seeing a joke and knowing that you have to say it. That you wrote it and you thought about it and you wrote it down.
Hey, I like that one.
And you make yourself say them. I like it too.
But no, my favorite visual I get from this is just a bunch of hobos on a road trip in an RV full of mermaid props, just like belting out Under the Sea as they're just smoking crack. Under the sea.
Yeah. More copyrighted Disney music.
That's a good.
But I like that they had to let the thief out of jail to come start the car. I feel like this is going to happen on a national level when they have to let Trump out of jail to come run the country again.
Yeah, it's like an analogy. All right, well, what sort of gathering could be worse than a bunch of RV thieves and mermaid drag?
I don't know, Ethan. What kind?
Gathering of Kyles makes one... Oh, wait, this isn't Guinness World Record news. Gathering of Kyles makes one last push for Guinness World Record.
Yeah.
The city of Kyle, Texas, is trying again to break the world record for most people gathered with the same name. In 2023, they were able to bring 1,490 people named Kyle together. But it wasn't enough to break the current record held by a city in Bosnia and Herzegovina, where 2,325 people named Ivan gathered in 2017.
I used to have a friend named Kyle that I could have invited to this, but he fired me.
I don't know many Kyles, but just based on my limited knowledge of Kyles, I know everyone at this event, if they're like the Kyles I know, probably wouldn't like barbecue. They'd be obsessed with board games. They'd have serious...
Come on. I think we're...
But also, they'd probably not show up because they had plans to go to Disneyland.
Jeez. This is another one. I didn't read how hard.
You didn't read how hard I went on
that.
Anyway, what do you think goes on at a Kyle rally?
I mean, I don't know.
They have keynote speaker like Kyle from Tenacious D.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. I don't know what... I feel like it would get boring very quickly.
Right.
And confusing.
You don't have much more to talk about than just, my name's Kyle, you're Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm part of a group for Ethans on Facebook, and it turns out I'm one of the only not gay Ethans.
And if there's 2,000 people named Kyle there, and you're there with your friend, and you get lost, you're never gonna find him again. You're just, hey, Kyle, where's Kyle?
Yeah,
There's just
Kyle.
There's no way to find him there.
Yeah, Kyle, please check in with your wife. Anyway, so the world record was broken anyway recently at the Iranian president's funeral. There's 80,995 men there named Muhammad.
I like that one. That's a solid joke.
I didn't write that.
You didn't? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought for sure that was yours.
No, I think that was probably Trevor Frank Fleming. I don't know. Good job, guys.
Good job, Trevor Frank. I like that joke. In other gripping stories about world record-breaking attempts, you can watch High Turnout turns dino record attempt into Tyrannosaurus wreck. A Canadian city's attempt to break the Guinness World Record for the largest gathering of people dressed as dinosaurs was disqualified due to the unexpectedly high turnout. A Facebook post said that the April 27th record attempt in the city's downtown area attracted more than 3,000 people in dino dress, but officials could not obtain an exact measurement of participants. So they gathered a lot of people there, and it was clearly more than they needed to break the record.
Way more.
But because the Guinness official couldn't actually
couldn't
tabulate
count
how
high
many
enough.
people were there,
Yeah.
it's not official. They were disqualified because there was too many.
Yep.
They broke the record too hard. A Guinness World Records adjudicator was present. He recorded 3,000 people through numbered bracelets or wristbands, which far exceeded what they had originally thought. They should have had that baguette lady with the clipboard
from last week.
From last week's Guinness
She looked
attempt.
pretty
She looked
serious.
like she had her stuff together. Photos and videos from the attempt indicate there may have been close to double that number of people.
Like almost 6,000 dinosaur people.
Yeah. But the officials were unprepared for the big turnout.
Yeah, I heard there was a dinosaur T-shirt vendor there. Her name was Sarah. She had a little store there. It was called. Her slogan was "Try Sarah Tops."
We weren't entirely prepared for that many people to come. Guinness said they had to be all together in the area for one solid minute.
I heard people were just disappearing, and I wonder if it was the raptor. Like a rapture, the rapture. It's a rapture joke.
The attempt was disqualified despite very handily beating the current record of 252 people set in Los Angeles in 2019.
To be fair, they were filming the finale of the TV show Dinosaurs.
I remember that show.
Yeah. But yeah, they were encouraged not to be dinosaur losers. But there actually was like a really crazy thing that happened after. To make matters worse, there's this big incident. One of the barbecue vendors there cooking a bunch of like propane tanks and everything, and exploded. Brisket started raining from the sky.
Brisket from the sky.
Yeah, killing all these attendees that were dressed as dinosaurs. They died in a meteor shower. Meteor.
We got there. Now for a question. Here, you do this one.
You're supposed to hate me more. I do those just to piss you off. Now for a question, perhaps even older than the dinosaurs. Is a taco a sandwich?
Time for sandwich news.
An Indiana judge rules tacos and burritos are Mexican-style sandwiches. I'll give a dramatic judge just slamming the gavel down. I have spoken. Are tacos and burritos sandwiches? A judge in Indiana thinks so, rules so. The ruling stems from a legal battle that started in 2022 when a developer unveiled plans to open his restaurant, the famous Taco Mexican Grill. I've heard of that. It's super famous. On a strip mall in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Allen County Planning Commission rejected his bid to open the eatery, citing a written commitment that Quintana had accepted. According to the agreement with the local condo association, only alcohol-free restaurants that did not allow outdoor seating and only sold made-to-order Subway-style sandwiches were allowed to open at that location. It's like sub-premises. Sandwich sub-premises. But why? Like, why so specific? I don't get it.
Yeah. Maybe it's to reduce competition or something like that. I don't know.
And like
why you could only have sandwich shops there.
Like we all have things hills we want to die on. Like some guy fought for that, right?
Yeah.
It's only subs.
I also think that's called Famous Taco Restaurant. That instead of having to verify Guinness World Records, They should have a committee that verifies whether your restaurant is world famous or not. Every place you go in the country, it's always world famous hot dogs, world famous pizzas.
Like you name it that before it's even opened up.
Yeah.
Right?
No one in Iran has heard about this place.
Or best cup of coffee in the world.
Yeah.
So the judge ruled that famous taco restaurant is permissible under the terms of the original written commitment and agreeing with Quintana. Am I saying that wrong? Quintana. That tacos and burritos are Mexican-style sandwiches, and the original written commitment does not restrict potential restaurants to only American cuisine-style sandwiches. To this I ask, then what the hell is a torta?
Oh, that's right.
That's a Mexican sandwich, sucker.
Yeah.
Do your research. But this does kind of confirm for me that my theory that all Mexican food is basically the exact same 3 ingredients, and they just put it all together.
It's just all a different order, yep.
And they just give it different names like tortillina and tortata and tortista.
And quesadilla.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if, yeah.
Maybe he can appeal the decision to the Taco Supreme Court.
It's a good one. I didn't write that one. I like how we have to say once what we didn't write.
Yeah.
That's not the point. You're supposed to have jokes. Guys write jokes for you so you look funnier.
The whole trial was a sand witch hunt.
I didn't write that one either. Good job. Anyway, I'm not using the other ones.
You don't want to say any of these other things?
Illegal immigrants are now going to be referred to as Mexican-style travelers.
That one's all right,
It's not bad.
Yeah. We need somebody smarter to help us out. In higher education news.
There we go. Oh, yeah, we didn't have a transition for that.
But I made one, and then
Good job.
you called. It would have gone smoothly.
We're too honest here.
You said we didn't have. Yeah.
Somebody said in a recent comment that Adam is always pointing out how the lab-grown meat is made on the show.
Really?
Because in the last show, like you kept...
Oh, how the sausage is made.
How the sausage is made. Yeah. It was his joke. It was good.
See, what you did there, the saying is usually how the sausage is made, but you changed it to how the lab-grown
He changed it, yeah.
He changed it to how the lab-grown is made.
Yeah.
That's how that joke worked.
Okay. I like to get a lot of information on comedy from Adam because he's a professional.
In higher education news, Max the cat is now a doctor of literature.
Liitter-ature.
From Vermont State.
Vermont.
You interrupted me, and I was trying. There's a lot of hyphens and puns in this that I didn't write. Max the cat is now a doctor of litter-ature from Vermont State University. A cat frequenting the Vermont State University Castleton campus was awarded a very special honorary degree as the school's first doctor of litter-ature. So they made that pun themselves on his
Right.
degree.
Well, no, I think it's legit because the cat was actually a scholar on such classics.
Oh, here it comes.
Such as To Kill a Meowking Turd, War and Fleas, the brothers Karamazov, The Great Gatsby.
How do you pronounce Brothers Karamazov and I can't say Vermont?
You had it. I think you had the word varmint in your head because you heard cat.
Yeah, maybe.
The Lord of the Ringworms. And of course, Charles Dickens's great classic, The Tale of Two Kitties.
That was the name of a Garfield movie, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
Not the new Garfield movie, but the old Garfield movie. I think it was called A Tale of Two Kitties or something.
Okay,
like
The
that.
Tale of Two Kitties going poop in the same litter box.
Nice. The school said on social media that the cat named Max lives with his owners on Seminary Street and has been an affectionate member of the Castleton family for years.
Heartwarming.
He's like the second least deserving celebrity to get an honorary degree this week.
Cats are just
There's
basically...
Biden at Morehouse getting his honorary. He's just like that cat. He just shows up and they give him a degree.
Yeah, cats are basically like crows with 4 legs. Like they're just scavenging soulless creatures.
Oh, you sound very anti. I like dogs more than cats, but I'm not anti-cat.
There's sometimes you get a cat with a good personality, but
yeah, we always had.
Do you think the cat got a degree in political science?
I don't think they gave
Or
him that.
was a
I think it was-
professor
I
of
think-
anthropology?
I don't.
Algebra?
Nope.
Maybe like a kitty planner?
You're going for the Kitty City play on words.
Kitty-
Two different. That was worth
two
two
times,
different.
yeah.
Two different jokes about the same.
This is a different part of the
No,
joke.
I think it was only.
It's a
I
different
think his
section.
only degree was in literature.
To be so literal.
Yeah.
Anyway, cats. You know what cats are also? When you think of cats, I think of another thing.
What do you think of?
teachers being fired. We didn't have a... anyway. School fires critical thinking teacher who went viral with Harry Potter discussion. I just realized that. Oh, I'm looking at that camera. So
I remember when this guy went viral.
Yeah, Warren Smith. This is the guy that he is a Massachusetts-based teacher. He became a poster boy for critical thinking and a favorite of conservatives. He was fired from his full-time teaching job. It was when he... Yeah, the Harry Potter guy. The guy was like, yeah, Harry Potter's like a total...
He said J.K. Rowling was transphobic. Yeah.
Harry Potter's a total transphobe.
No, he's mad at J.K. Daniel Radcliffe's mad at...
Yeah, I've seen that,
He says he's disappointed in her for saying a woman is a woman.
Oh, wow. He's so bold.
But there was a viral video where this teacher, one of his students, claimed that J.K. Rowling was problematic and transphobic. And then he kind of, in this critical thinking lesson, said, "No, what do you mean by that?
And he doesn't take position.
Were you told that that's what she says? What did she actually say?" And he uses this lesson
looked up her tweets
to kind of make them think critically and independently rather than just absorbing these sort of.
I think and people are appreciating. He ended
opinions.
I think I think he said he had always done these videos at a really small scale. He generally doesn't have the other person's face on screen. It's just he wants you to see the process of critical thinking and questioning the things we just take as true, and it's kind of a cool thing to see people celebrating. But he did become nobody. I don't know if anybody knows his actual political views.
I don't know,
but he's been on. He said he'll go on whatever show invites him on. He thinks critical thinking is something to be talked about. And anyway, so he said 7 days ago I was fired from my school after 4 years of teaching. I recorded this the following day. It's a video he put up talking about what happened. Sharing my perspective honestly and in good faith in order to move forward, put this experience behind me. I have no desire to cause complications or bring unwanted attention to the school, so I will not divulge anything beyond that. And so far, I haven't been able to find out anybody who knows what school it is. It's important to me to be able to speak truthfully and honestly about one of the most challenging periods in the story of my life in order to move on to a new chapter. Anyway, you get it. It's one of those tweets. But he did say at the end of the video that the school did end up offering him money in an agreement not to discuss all the details and basically quiet him down on it, and he turned it down. So anyway, I think colleges are just becoming aware that as soon as people start thinking too critically, they're going to be like, wait a minute, how much does this cost? What are they teaching me? They don't want that. So yeah, and then also I watch this and I think, imagine dumping years of your heart and soul into a job and being unceremoniously let go suddenly.
Just for doing your job well.
Yeah, just for doing well.
Just for being one of the most talented people there. I can't imagine.
I can't relate. I don't know.
I can't imagine what that would
suck.
be like.
That would really suck.
Uh-huh.
But on the bright side, I'm guessing maybe we'll see this guy around the offices at the Daily Wire where I work now.
Oh, yeah.
Because people that get canceled, they hire him up pretty quick. So.
Speaking of getting fired, it's time for kid news. New Hampshire daycare workers sprinkled melatonin in children's food, unbeknownst to parents, police say. The owner and 3 workers at a New Hampshire daycare are facing charges after they sprinkled melatonin in the food of children they were responsible for. That's like it makes people sleepy,
it's
right?
A sleepy drug.
It calms you down.
So I get apparently organic. I don't know what it is.
Sally Dreckman, 52, the daycare owner, and her employees, Tracy Inney and Caitlin Audi. I'm kidding. It's Caitlin Filardo. And Jessica Foster.
Skinnyo.
Yeah. All of Manchester were charged with 10 counts of endangering the welfare.
They're all from Manchester. It's not all of the city of Manchester. Got it.
Those 4 people that are charged, they're all from Manchester, were charged with 10 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Authorities said the children's food that was provided by the in-house daycare was being sprinkled with melatonin without their parents' knowledge or consent. And this is horrible because according to New Hampshire law, the only thing daycare workers can do without the parents' knowledge is transition their gender.
Right.
It's the only thing you're allowed to do without telling the parents this country.
The only thing you're allowed to sprinkle is puberty blocker dust on the kids' apple slices. They have the puberty blocker fair, sprinkling dust.
I don't know if this happens to anyone else. I always get melatonin and melanin.
Yeah, me too.
Up. So when I first read this, I thought they were trying to Rachel Dole as all the kids.
Get the kids to darken, which I think that'd probably be received better.
Yeah, they'd be like, they're increasing diversity.
Yeah. Through ingestion.
When the parents found out the workers had secretly drugged their kids to calm them down, they thanked them profusely.
Well, here's another story that screwed some kids up. We could see his beard. Quote, that was a quote. Families outraged by underwhelming Bluey event. The Dirt Dog restaurant in Las Vegas. Dirt Dog.
Dirt Dog in Las Vegas.
Let's bring the kids to the Dirt Dog. Posted the Bluey event on Facebook, thinking that they might get a few dozen attendees. I just got like Dirt Dog sounds like how like gross uncles describe going to the bathroom.
Yeah,
I got to drop off a few Dirt Dogs at the pound.
And they have a Bluey event like for kids there. It's like hey,
Yeah,
you want to
Dirt
take the kids to the Dirt Dog in Sin City for a Bluey event.
The event ended up having more than 3,000 people show up. The restaurant said they were unprepared for the massive turnout and high expectations. Once inside the crowded restaurant, families encountered amateur costumes, which they're pretty bad if you look at the picture. Families encountered amateur costumes, homemade treats, face painting from one restaurant staff member. Dirt Dog management sat down with the news company here that we copied this text from to explain the well-meaning intentions behind the event. And they were a little shell-shocked. They were like, I think they just thought, yeah, sure, we'll do a little Bluey stuff for they're like, we have regular customers. Some people will bring Bluey. Well, I guess someone created a Facebook event, and they thought this is...
And kids love Bluey. They're crazy
and there's
about it.
Matt here, he's running the show behind the scenes here. Uh-huh. He went to a big Bluey event in Beverly Hills. They're having these popping around there. They're really fancy and high class and cool and fan. You know, got like really cool costumes, and it feels like you're in Bluey's real house.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people thought that's what they were getting, but they got this instead. Like a few people that did Dirt Dog with their beard sticking out of their Bluey mask.
I hate it when I go to Las Vegas and get a disappointing Bluey.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah.
Some of the quotes.
The costume's horrible though. The guy dressed as Bluey, it's just they say in the quote you can see his beard. It's just pajamas. Yeah, really. It's like pajamas with a hood that he's wearing.
Yeah, it's a hood. It's one of those hood hats. It's like
even if only 3 people had showed up, it would still be a bad, disappointing Bluey event.
Right. Probably some people who showed up in costumes looked better than his costume. And they had these like dog bone cakes, which I don't know if Bluey is even known for eating dog bones. I've never seen it in the show. My kids watched it a lot.
It's a terrible show. Watch Chip Chilla instead.
Managers said that restaurant employees like to plan events for their regulars, and they volunteered to be characters in costume, offer face painting, and all this kind of stuff. One restaurant worker personally baked 125 cupcakes, but they were gobbled up quite shortly. So here's some quotes from parents. The kids were distraught. Some kids were crying. A lady named Hernandez said, "How could you do that to little kids? Advertise something so fun and eventful for kids ranging from toddlers to 6, 7 years old and not actually follow through with it. It was a very upsetting moment to see so many kids, especially my daughter, just really upset." I think that's a little dramatic.
Yeah. Like, another parent said, "Thanks for ruining my 3-year-old's day."
Another one said, "I drove for 1 hour just to see a grown man in PJs." Though I respect this one. A free event, it's a risk you take, one parent wrote.
The characters, they're terrible, but they look kind of how all the characters on Hollywood Boulevard look. They're just these kind of cheap knockoff costumes.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was on, do you ever do those celebrity home tours or like the Hollywood bus tour?
I feel like that was so disappointing and lame.
It is kind of lame. It's fun to do when there's someone from out of town visiting. If they've been here before, it's just a way to waste time. But I remember I was on one and they have the like megaphone on the bus because they're announcing like, here's where George Clooney lives and there's where O.J. Simpson murdered, or whatever. But when you're driving down Hollywood Boulevard, there's all these characters. And I remember the guy going, there you can see SpongeBob and Superman and Fat Spider-Man. And he said it real loud while the guy's right there on a loudspeaker, just driving right by, insulting this.
Maybe that's what he goes by.
Maybe.
Yeah, I saw like the fattest, morbidly obese Captain America one time at Comic-Con. his little feathers didn't stick up. They were just hanging down like a hangdog, overweight Captain America. It was a great, and he was like, I think he was Latino. It was just like a hilarious, great.
Oh, man.
I have a story. This last weekend, I found a Facebook event. I've been reading Wizard of Oz to my kids, my son. We are in book 14 of 15.
I just found out it's a book.
Yeah. So now, I don't know many people have read every book. Like this is every book by L. Frank Baum in the series. And so I saw this event. I'm like, oh, let's do it. So and then I saw it's kind of expensive. So I didn't do it. Then they sent me a coupon for half off. So I took it. As the event neared, I realized that they said, don't forget to download the app to do the event. Like, why do I need an app? Because they had all these cool pictures of like a little yellow brick road and Dorothy. And so then I was looking at the email, I was looking back at the pictures, and I was like, wait a minute. And I realized that they were AI pictures. These were not real pictures. And the whole thing is a app. And what you do is you walk out to a random spot in Ontario, maybe. That's a city that might be near us. In Canada, maybe. I don't know. So you walk out to just a random place in town on this map, and it just, everything is clearly generated by AI. The story that it reads to you, the games, like there's some stuff that maybe a human had a hand in, but it's like so lame. And Oz is totally public domain, so like anybody can do Oz stuff. They had AI generated songs.
Really?
Like, oh, listen to the new song we made from Oz, and the story was bafflingly stupid. And we kept bumping into other people that had done it with sad-looking kids, just like, wow, like this is what this is. Like you just looking at your phone and it's like a dumb riddle, and there's nothing outside. Like, nothing. It's just a bunch of dumb people walking around.
Wow,
walking around with their phones, confused and angry.
Augmented reality,
and it costed $40.
Yeah.
So watch out for Questo, okay? Because I don't think they even say that word until you buy the ticket. Watch out for these scams. Questo, not a fan.
Now that's it for kids news. Now here's a story that's inappropriate for children. It's German news. A German politician's video of licking public toilets goes viral. Martin Neumeyer, a German politician, filmed himself licking public toilets at a railway station, as confirmed by the local media reports. It's disgusting. He's just licking like the inside of the toilet. They say it went viral. I don't think they mean the video. I think he got herpes and face gonorrhea from this. He got actual viruses.
Things did go viral.
Neumeyer is the Free Democratic Party candidate for the upcoming local elections in the Swabian city.
He's really swabby in the crappers.
He was.
Swabian.
Mr. Neumeyer was seen putting his face inside the toilet and also licking toiletries, including a brush present there.
Do they mean toilet brush?
The toilet brush, yeah.
Wow.
He also shared disturbing and explicit videos of himself doing sexual acts online.
Well, he's a Democrat. I was thinking, maybe you could play his wiener in his biopic.
If they do a biopic, maybe I'll break out.
You got experience.
I'll break out the old
you might get
wiener
typecast.
costume. Yeah.
Become known as the guy who plays politicians' junk.
His act of licking the metal fittings of a urinal in a seated toilet received disgust by several users. I guess they were okay with all the other stuff he did. It's just that part. But Neumeyer can be heard saying it was part of his punishment in the video. So it sounds like it was some sort of weird like fetish thing or something. I don't know. Was he like...
Or like an Impractical Jokers kind of thing? Time for your punishment, Sal.
He's not going to get punished for this one. I hate that I got it. I'm so sad I got this story to read. He also made a mustache from feces while role playing as the former Chancellor Adolf Hitler in some of the footage.
Wait, is that how you say mustache?
No, I did it like that on purpose.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
I was just trying to get through it.
You might have to bleep this, but I can't pass this up. Like, he had an opportunity. You don't get this opportunity very often. If you make yourself a poop mustache. A little dab right here. Did he call himself Adolf Hitler?
You did it.
But anyway, who among us has not thought of doing that?
I did not see that joke coming.
You did? You didn't? Sorry, I have diarrhea of the mouth.
And that guy had diarrhea under his nose.
Well, in any case, he definitely was the second worst German politician ever. All right.
Now it's time for our most popular recurring segment.
Yes, the movie review.
The movie reviews.
Where we always definitely review movies that are actually out and we've seen.
We've actually seen. We've gone and seen these. We make time during the week to see them. It'd be a waste of everyone's time
we get
if
special
we
passes
hadn't seen them.
For early viewing since this is Garfield. Garfield's not out yet.
We tell them we're from the Talk Down and they let us come to the private screening events.
Yeah, I tell them I drew Chris Pratt and Nick Offerman's book one time. He's letting me in. So anyway, Garfield, what do you think? I thought you took a
he
ton
likes
of makeup.
lasagna. He hates Mondays.
Yeah, I didn't even know that the fattest president in history was so into lasagna and pushing dogs off tables.
There's statues of Garfield all over all the bus shelters in my neighborhood. To promote it. Yes. Statues. It's the biggest marketing campaign like I've ever seen. There's full like plastic sculptures. There'll be posters for Garfield. on either side.
Of the morbidly obese president?
Of the morbidly obese president to commit to the bit.
Okay.
So it's so there's a statue of a morbidly obese president laying on top, and then just a homeless person on the bench underneath. It's at every bus shelter in my neighborhood.
Now, apparently in this movie, I didn't really recognize it, but his dad's played by Samuel L. Jackson, just like...
I don't think that's historically accurate.
Right. But, you know, you don't get to see Chris Pratt have his dad be Samuel L. Jackson a whole lot.
No, you don't.
It's kind of cool.
So to commit to the bit, Chris Pratt is voicing an animated version of the fattest president, but his dad is Samuel L. Jackson.
And I know that he used to be a little overweight when he was in Parks and Rec.
Samuel L. Jackson plays his dad, Andrew Jackson, the other president, right? It's all coming together.
Samuel L. Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, Samuel.
Yeah, because they're going with they're picking up on the whole Hamilton thing where they do
L. Jackson.
Multiracial history.
Yeah.
But yes, because they first they typecast him as Mario, a little fat Italian guy, and now it's Garfield, like the fattest president ever.
Yeah.
Like he can't live it down. He lost all that weight, and they're still like, oh, let's make a bunch of fat cartoons. And people were all mad because he was not actually Italian, but he's doing like an Italian role.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm a Mario.
And now he's not actually fat, and he's doing a fat voice.
Yeah, and he's not yeah, that's right.
You almost dropped the bit.
I didn't realize this was gonna
our fattest president and his best friend Odie.
Exactly. Anyway, I always wanted to do like an old version of Garfield called Cigarfield.
I give it 40 out of 60 stars.
Okay. And yeah, you just remember, if you ever feel bad about not being a great writer, actually this joke doesn't work with the bit if we stick with Garfield being Garfield.
You're trying to get around it now.
I keep trying to get around it, I can't.
Yeah.
Go see Garfield. The inspiring tale of Chris Pratt dressed in the giant fat suit. It's kind of like the Nutty Professor meets Hamilton meets...
What was that one where Brendan Fraser was the fat guy? The Whale.
The Whale meets Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Is that a...
Yeah.
Meets... what's a good president? Oh, Lincoln or something. I don't know. Movie. Well, thanks to everyone who helped put this together.
And it's a children's movie, except when Samuel L. Jackson says the F word over and over.
Yeah,
again.
yeah, the MFers he's saying.
He's got in his contract.
I want to thank Matt McDavid. Does all the truly heavy lifting back there, and he laughs at our jokes, and puts all this together. Thanks,
beautiful.
Frank and Trevor for helping us write our jokes. All the contributors on my Discord who are throwing news stories at me. And if you want to join our Discord, you can throw news stories at us throughout the week and talk. Some of our editors help us edit the notes, document. We got Daniel and Johnny Tutts and Will Warandi. I don't know if that's the screen name, but then the Bard. Of course, Austin Robertson, the voice of the Talk Down. And to all you listeners, I thank you guys for listening and for commenting and subscribing and all the stuff that you're supposed to do.
We really appreciate you guys tuning in. It's fun.
I mean, obviously, we wouldn't be doing it if nobody's listening.
A lot of podcasters are.
Yeah, that's true. That is definitely true.
I know a lot of comedians.
I mean, you have to have the willpower.
I know a lot of aspiring comedians in Hollywood, and there are a lot of people doing podcasts no one is listening to.
Right. Well, we're going to go to our subscriber bit here, and we're going to reveal the true story of what the movie Garfield is actually about. Because we were pretty...
You'll never guess what it's really about.
Yeah, and we're also going to talk about Adam being working at Maury Povich.
Interning for Maury, yep.
And I'll tell you guys about how I actually hit a cougar. And I'm going to talk to Matt about editing that part out about my wife earlier on. What I'm trying to say is my wife's really hot. All right. Bye.
The Talk Down is filmed in a dark room in front of a couple of fake plants. For more information or to become a subscriber, go to thetalkdown.com.